Welcome everybody to week 10 where we have our bye week. We will also be playing week 11 in this video against the Seahawks. And the reason we're not starting off with that game is because we're going to have a bit of a scouting special here at the beginning where we go over not all of the guys, but quite a few of the guys that we have in our favorites. So I'll jump over there and kind of show you a brief look real quick. So as we jump over to the favorites here, this is for every position. Go down the very bottom. You see I currently have 73 different players all liked, and that's because we are looking at just about every single position besides kicker and punter. We don't need anyone there, so don't have any of those guys on it, but every other position there's probably at least one guy that is on this list. And the reason is because we really need to work all over. There's a lot of guys getting older and just other positions that we could get some backups and to start progressing. And we talked about that a bit at the end of, not really the end, but just throughout the last video against the Falcons. It was a close game. If you guys didn't watch that one, I suggest you go check it out. A lot of close games this year, and we did get the victory there. So we're just going to kind of go through a little bit here, talk about some of the key guys, and then also choose our top three that we're going to want to have the focus scouting on for week 11. So first off, I want to start with the safeties, and that's because there's honestly not a whole lot to look at. In this entire draft, I have 5, and 4 of them are at strong safety, 1 at free safety, and there's only 1 that's a first-round talent, at least projected first-round talent. So we'll kind of jump through these guys, show you a little bit why they're on the board. We do need to highly consider drafting a safety if any of them fits what we need, just because our safeties are old. Marcus Joyner is 30 plus. Then Jimmy Ward also 30 plus. So would like to get young at the safety position. First up is Deshaun Wilson. He's the the only first round projected safety that we have. He's 5'11", 209, 22, so good age. Would like a little bit more height, and honestly could be a little bit heftier too, but 209 is not bad. When we look through some of the physical standpoints, I mean, the dude is a really good athlete, also has a lot of strength as well, which is why he's on the board. As you can see here, only has a C zone coverage, which isn't great. B tackle, B pursuit. So to me, I'm not looking at a first round safety here, but we don't know all of the key information, which is why he's still on the list. And that's going to be very synonymous with this draft class. There's just a lot of guys that have some intriguing aspects to them, not necessarily are going to be high-end guys that we're going to go after. And the next safety, Tyron Newton, also strong safety, 5'10", 212, 21, so a better age. He's a little bit shorter, a little bit heavier. Looking at his physicals, also very similar, pretty good athlete, not as strong. And then skills, we do see B zone, B catching, and B finesse, which is a little interesting. So for me, when I'm looking at Newton here, with his size being 5'10", should have some decent speed, great to elite, acceleration, also pretty good to great. With that and seeing the coverability, I'm thinking he could be a free safety, which is another position we need to look at. Jimmy Ward, who's currently playing, or not Jimmy Ward, Marcus Joyner, who's currently playing free safety for us this year. He's slow, but he has some coverability and has more acceleration than Jimmy Ward, so that's why he's playing free safety for us. But this could be a potential guy to bring in for that spot. Next up is Terrell Henley, and much better size for him, 6 foot. 21, but he is under 200, so again, I'm thinking maybe more of a free safety at this point. He's pretty fast, pretty good acceleration, not very strong, so definitely leaning more towards the free safety aspect here. But we just, again, don't know much of the information about him. The athletics are pretty solid, same with the age and height, which is why he's on the list. B awareness, B pursuit, C catching isn't very good, and F injury also not very good, but someone who I would like to get some more information on if we're able to get any. I don't see me putting him as a focus or off-season special guy either, but is an interesting guy to keep on the board and see if we get any more information from. And then the last listed strong safety, Gabe Roll, 6'1", 202, so pretty good size, pretty good weight to him, 21, some good age there. Look at the physicals. They're okay. Kind of, you can tell they're dipping down a little bit. Not as fast, but he's still pretty strong. So definitely thinking more strong safety here, especially since we like to play a strong safety a little bit closer to the box. We don't know any coverage ability, but we know B catching, A pursuit, and B tackling. So I'm seeing some strong safety attributes from him. Would like to know a little bit more. The age is great, size pretty good. He's one to consider for trying to get some more information on. And then the only free safety we have on this list is Terrence Adams. He's 5'11", 209, again 21, so good that they're younger because they're most likely going to need to get those rating boosts. Now, for him, he doesn't have good acceleration, and he has pretty good, it'll be good to great, speed and strength. So, interesting attributes for him. But what we really like is A, block shedding, and A, pursuit. Now, if I hit the Y here, bring up the key info, if you look over at the bottom right where it says a quarterback or cornerback with 80 man coverage will have A man coverage ability. So that's telling me, I think I went back too far. Yep. But yeah, that tells me that Adams' block shedding and pursuit ratings are at least 80 overall. They might be a little bit higher, but that could be really good, especially if he's playing more strong safety, where we like to send him on blitzes, play a little bit more closer to the line. And for the lack of acceleration, he looks more like a strong safety in that aspect. Would like a little bit more height and weight, but 21 years old, you really can't beat it. As for the corners, we have 9 total on the list. A lot of them are early projected guys. 1, 2, there's even at the top, there was a top 5 guy. And then there was a couple in the 3rd and 4th round that we're looking at. So we'll run through these guys pretty quickly. Evan Dyson, he's at the top. He's a top 5. He's 23, which isn't a preferred age for me, but good height, good weight. When we look at the skills, we see a lot of really good information here. Going to have at least an 80 in man coverage, awareness, and block shedding. And then Bs in catching, hit power, stamina, and tackle. So really good, which helps with the fact that he's 23. However, he's projected top 5, and there's no way we're picking top 5 unless we trade a lot. From a physical standpoint, dude is very athletic. Doesn't have a great change of direction, which can hinder some ability and some man coverage there for him. But man coverage is pretty high. He does have good speed, good acceleration, could help make up for that. Next up is Bradley McGee, a bit on the shorter side, 5'10", but he is 203 and is 21 years old, which is pretty good. Look at his skills, has really good stamina, B zone coverage, B injury. He's not going to be a very strong guy here. Hit power is low, press is a bit low, but awareness is B, which is something you could work with. He does have, or it shows that he has great to elite strength. It just doesn't come through in the press ability or the hit power. But from other standpoints, due to his physicals, pretty good. Again, suffers a little bit in the change of direction, but he's fast, has good acceleration and agility, and also has a little bit of strength to him. Kenneth Felix is another one, 5'11", 182, 22 years old. So not super tall, not super hefty, but has some ability. He shows he could be a guy who could force some turnovers with B catching, B hit power, also decent tackler at the corner spot, so B coverage. Now, or B covered, B tackle. The coverages only C's, so I don't see him being a second round for me. I would look more as third round. Clint Hoover is another corner that we're looking at here. He's 6'3", 188, so very similar size to Cameron Dantzler. He's 22 years old, so has a little bit more time to develop. Physical standpoint, I mean, he's a pretty good athlete. All of these corners kind of suffer in the change of direction for some reason, but from his skill standpoint, B zone coverage, B tackle, B injury, B block shedding, B awareness, F stamina. Little concerning there. For Clint, honestly, from some of the information I have, he looks more like a slot corner for us, which could be good. I mean, we can move Dantzler out to the outside, which we saw him play very well at this last preseason, where he had, I think, 2 or 3 interceptions. So having flexibility in the cornerback group would be key. Thaddeus Meekins, another 1 to 2 round guy. He's 5'9", so one of the shortest we've looked at so far. 193, so has a little bit of weight to him. 21 years old. Definitely like having being the youngest that you can get. From the physicals, pretty good. He's fast, he's agile, he's pretty good in the acceleration. Has a bit of strength to him. Skill set, B press, which is fantastic. I love a good press corner. B zone coverage, fantastic. C catching a little bit low, so I wouldn't expect him to get that many turnovers, but if he could swat the ball away, fantastic. And then that's all we have for the secondary, which still needs a lot of work. We've had to bring in some older guys to kind of just be stopgaps until we could find some younger guys to be the future. Speaking of future, we still need to work on the linebacking core. We picked up 2 guys last year, and they've played pretty well for us in the little bit of time that we've seen them. Preseason, they were fantastic, forcing fumbles and turnovers, interceptions. So fantastic there. However, Harrison Smith and Eric Kendricks are going to keep getting older. Harrison Smith might retire at the end of the season. So we're keeping an eye on the linebackers just because you never know when you're going to need them, and you'd rather be ahead of the curve. And when I talk about linebackers, I'm talking about off-ball linebackers. So Taj James is one of the better ones that we were seeing earlier in the draft, and we don't know a whole lot of ratings. So it could be a key guy to have be a special workout player in the offseason or focus scouting in Week 11. So for him, we know he has B zone coverage, B play rec, B stamina. All really good information to have. Of course, we don't know a whole lot extra. Another intriguing right outside linebacker is Darren Ewing. He's a day 3 guy, 6 foot, 230, 22 years old. And with him, we don't know a whole lot in terms of coverage, but physical standpoint, I mean, solid guy, especially for a day 3. Kyle Kane, another intriguing one. He's 5'11", so a little short, 224, decent size, but he's 21 years old, which is fantastic. From a physical attributes, I mean, dude is a crazy athletic monster, especially for linebacker. I mean, look at all the greats to elite, basically across the entire board. Jumping is good to great, strength solid to good. When we look at his skills, we don't know all of them, but A catching, so that's going to be at least an 80, and then B hit power can provide some hitting there. We don't know the coverage, we don't know the block shedding. Tony Wyatt is another very similar kind of guy. 3rd to 4th round, he's 6'1", 230, 22 years old. And for him, physical attributes also really good. Fits very well with the guys we previously drafted. Skills, the same kind of thing with him. So we know A catching, A stamina. So both of those are going to be at least an 80. Tackling is a bit low at a C, so that is a little worrying. But with some of those other abilities, it's something you just got to consider. Dom Jordan is the highest projected middle linebacker, 6'1", 232. He is 23 years old, which is a little bit of a hindrance there, but pretty good athlete, as we see with those physical attributes. Now, he does have B man coverage and has B power moves. So what I see with him is kind of a very field general type linebacker. He can blitz, rush the passer, possibly even cover decently well as well. All speculation, considering we don't know all of the ratings, but a lot of variety that we see here from Dom Jordan, which is why he's projected 1 to 2. Greg Benz is kind of like some of those later later 3rd to 4, day 3 kind of right outside linebackers. He's 6'3", 245, so really good size, 21 years old, even better. Physical standpoint, athletic, and then skills, still has that A catching, A hit power, so both of those going to be at least an 80. And now we're going to start getting into some of the lower rounds, the day 2, day 3, with Damian Jackson, B man, B play rec. Pretty good, especially in the 3rd and 4th rounds. C block shedding is a bit low, so you worry a little bit about run stopping, but if he's a backup, solid. Reggie Hardy is going to be one who could be a day 3 run stopper for us. Will most likely be a backup, but perfectly fine. We need backups. We don't really have a whole lot. Then we have Percy Van Buren, another one who's going to be a 3rd, 4th rounder that'll most likely be a run stopper with B impact block and B block shedding. And then the last middle linebacker, Matthew Hawkins, another day 3, 5'11", 240, 22 years old. So a little bit shorter, but still keeps the weight. He's a much better athlete than some of the other ones that we've seen later on in the draft. Skill standpoint, we know he has B zone coverage and A hit power. So a very intriguing day 3 kind of guy. Now taking a look at the left outside linebackers, Kerry Meeks, our number 1 here, only in the 2nd and 3rd round, 5'11", 228, 22 years old. His physicals are, again, pretty solid. Jumping is pretty poor, or can be poor to marginal, but everywhere else, pretty solid. From a skill attribute, though, B injury, B man coverage, solid. C block shedding a little low, and D hit power. So he's definitely going to be more of a cover guy than really anything else. Another 2nd to 3rd rounder is Matthew Stewart, 6 foot, 232, 22 years old. So better size here, at least in height. And with his ratings, B catching, B injury, A tackle. So he's definitely going to be a good tackle guy for us. With the catching being a B, I would assume that the cover ratings are at least manageable and can be progressed into a better standpoint for us. Then Sean Hartwell, he's a third to fourth rounder. He's 6'1", 232, which is good, but now he's at that 23 age, so limits how much he could really progress. From the physicals attributes, I mean, solid. Has some good things, has some okay things, but has A block shedding, so that's again going to be at least an 80. B pursuit, I'm thinking he's probably a run stopper, might even be a pass rusher. Can't tell for certain. With the size, I would assume would just be a run stopper, considering he's not 250 plus. Now, another day 3 guy that's very intriguing is Eric Pitts. He's 6'1", 247. He is, again, that 23 years old. Physicals, solid. I mean, has some good greats. Also has some decent to solid. So kind of a variety there. But A catching, B block shedding, B impact block, and B pursuit. Seems like he could be a balanced guy that we might be able to influence how he progresses, whether that's going to be a run stopper or a cover guy. And the last linebacker is Greg Beasley, 6'2", 260, 22 years old. So we're getting to that weight that he might be an edge rush guy. So really good acceleration, decent, good to great. I say things a little bit differently because I would like everyone to be in that great to elite. So when they're not, I look at that a little bit differently. But decent to solid physical standpoint, at least that we know of. B block shedding, F catching, so I'm assuming there's no cover ability there, which makes me think he's either a run stopper or he's an edge rush guy. And day 3, again, you can maybe take a chance on some of these guys. So a guy with B block shedding, B pursuit, B impact block, seems like he could be a decent backup at the edge rush position for us. Now, we are looking at multiple positions on the D line, really, we're looking at every position, like I said. But D-line, we're just taking a look at to see if we could find someone that we would eventually replace Michael Pierce with as he gets older. Unfortunately, no one here close to his size. Michael Pierce is 340 pounds, so he's a big dude. No one here that really seems to be over 315 pounds. Chris Weldon is the round 1 guy that's available, and with him, we know that he is an A injury and A play rec, which is fantastic. B awareness, B block shedding. He could end up being more of a pass rusher, but we at least know that block shedding is B, which is really what we prefer for our defensive tackles. Past him, we'll go into the 2nd and 3rd round, another 21-year-old defensive tackle, Lee Aldridge here, 6'4", 299. His skills, we know he has some B power moves, which would be very similar to Graves, who recently got his first NFL sack in the Falcons game. He had 2, which was fantastic. Been waiting to see that. Aldridge also has A play rec. Now, Earl Stanton, 3rd to 4th round. We know the B block shedding, which is, I just look for some high block shedding for these guys. Physicals, again, he's not going to be a fast guy, but he has some strength to him, which, again, you need. However, he's 23, he's under 300 pounds, and he's 6'5", so good height. But if he's available 4th round, definitely someone you would consider to at least be a depth defensive tackle. Now, Jonathan Samuel, again, a 23-year-old guy, so on the edge of the ages that I really would consider. 6'2", 309, so he's at least over that 300 mark. For him, he has more speed, still has some strength as well. The skills, we know he has the B power moves, B pursuit, so could be a backup, maybe interior rusher for us. Another 23-year-old here, Cedric Hatchett, and good size, 6'5", 313, pretty solid. Physicals, has some strength to him. Nothing elite, but has some strength, block shedding, and play rec both at a B. Definitely something to consider for a day 3 kind of guy. And another one that we would definitely want to consider as well is Martin Connor. He's 6'3", 296, but he is that 23 years old, so not great there. But he's a 3rd to 4th round guy who has some speed, has some strength, and when we look at the skills, he has A power moves, so that's going to be at least an 80. Now with Connor, considering that he has some speed, he could maybe even play edge, and we're not sure if we're re-signing Wanham. And Wanham has I believe it's power moves, even though he's a little bit more of a quicker guy. His power moves is an 80 currently. So Connor would have his rating already. Of course, the other ones might be different. F stamina, something to worry a little bit about, but that's something to consider with Wanham. He doesn't have super high ratings. We could look to maybe try to replace him rather than give him a contract extension. At the edges, we don't have a whole lot, at least at the right end spot, 5 at the left end spot, and really it's just 4, but I'll tell you the reason why we have 5 in a moment. But the first right end, Corin Carthers, 6'1", 263. There's not a lot of big guys in this class, so a lot of more leaner guys, but 22 years old. And then when we look at his physicals, I mean, athlete across the board and has strength. So far, definitely seeing a round one. Just might be a later round one, considering the information we do know is just B's, which isn't anything bad, but he just doesn't have that A that really makes him one of the elite guys. The next edge rusher that we have at the right side is a 6'3", 289-pound guy, so one of the heavier edge guys that we have in this class. 23 years old, though. From the physical standpoint, not bad. Definitely not as good as the first guy, the round one guy that we looked at. He's around 1 to 2. Now with him, we know A tackle and A play rec. The finesse moves, B. So he definitely has the skills, and we know he seems to be a smart guy who doesn't give up a lot of broken tackle. At the left end spot, a few more guys and a few more earlier guys. The first one we have, left end Aaron Lowe. He's 6'5", 280, 21 years old. So great age there. Physical standpoint, pretty good. Has some elite, has some great, has some good. Skill point, B power moves, B play rec, B hit power, C block shedding. So again, not going to be much of a run stopper, but has the ability to develop that. Another round 1 to 2 guy is Cesar Vasquez, and I kind of like him a bit more. He's 6'6", so we have really good height, 276, 23 years old, so 2 years older than the other guy, but really good athletics, not as strong, but he has A power moves and A play rec. So again, at least 80 overall for the ratings there. So he would come in with the same power move as Wanham. A play rec, so again, around 80. So would probably, again, have the same as Wanham. Block shedding C. Wanham's block shedding is, I think, a 70 overall, and that might be with a boost. So very similar. He would probably be about a year or two maybe younger. Then in the second to third round, we have Aries Nelson, who's 6'4", 260, 22 years old. We're going to start to see the drop here, where the athletics aren't as good. They're not awful. Now with Nelson, he's not a very strong guy. And you really see that here with the finesse moves being a B, power moves D. Awareness is a little bit lower, but pursuit and hit power B. So definitely something you could work with. If this is a third round pick, you could definitely consider it. Connor Mitchell, he's a day 3 guy. He's 6'5", 265, 22 years old. From the physicals, again, pretty solid. He has some high ones, has some low ones, but he's more of an athlete. When you look at the skills, he does have a little bit of power moves, though, to him. So with the athlete, you would think there would also be a bit of finesse moves. Not so sure, though, about the hit power. He does have, or not the hit power, the block shedding. Hit power we do know is an F. So again, just not a very strong guy, but day 3, you could consider it. And then just more of a nod towards one of our really successful picks. We have the younger brother, at least that's what I'm calling it, to our tight end with this left end here at Ryland Flanagan. So he's more of a DT when you look at the size here. So 6'6", 230, or 230. Wow, I flipped that. Dyslexia there. 320. So definitely, I think one of the heaviest linemen that we have, at least on our favorite board here. And then for offensive line, they're really... Madden 22 is weird. So the tackles are supposed to be pretty bad, and as you see here, we only have some day 3 guys, so we'll kind of skip over some. Day 3 guy at guard, and guard's supposed to be one of the best positions in this draft. So jump over to this guard. We have a 3rd to a 4th rounder. At left tackle now, Bryce Bryan is, from what I've seen so far, is insane. He's 6'7", 336 pounds, 21 years old. I mean, right down my alley here. Would like to see a bit better physicals, with the strength maybe being higher. Great to elite, but good to great, definitely workable. Speed doesn't really matter there. But his skills, I mean, A, awareness, A, impact block. Both of those are going to be an 80 at minimum. And then pass block power. So he's a power blocker, which is what our archetype is for our offensive line. Now, the weird thing with Madden that's different than previous Madden 22, that's different than other Maddens that I've played. Normally, in previous Maddens, I could never find a good center that you draft as a center. I would move them from a guard position, maybe even a tackle, but the centers that are draftable have always been awful. But in Madden 22, that is where I'm finding the best linemen. I don't know if that's just me. Let me know down in the comment section below. But let's go through these guys. First up, we have Mac McCord, great name for a center, 6'3", 320, basically 319, 21 years old. From the physical standpoint, great. For interior lineman, a center who's gonna get help on either side of him, fantastic. Skill set, A, pass block, A, run block power, B, lead block, B, awareness. I mean, without a doubt, I would love to draft him. The next center, another second to third round guy, 6'4", 301 pound, 21 years old. Physicals, again, fantastic, especially for that interior lineman. A, awareness, A, lead block, A, pass block. We were trying to pass the ball a little bit more. All of the linemen that the Vikings had when we started this series were strictly run blockers. Very little were pass blockers, the only one really being Brian O'Neill, who's a balanced guy. He's just a really good lineman. So Richards here could easily come in, and we move him out to tackle. In the third to fourth rounds, we have Jeff Costello, or Castillo, depending on how you want to pronounce it. 6'1", 311, 22 years old. Physicals, again, fantastic, especially for interior. Skills, B, awareness, B, run block finesse, A, pass block finesse. So probably a finesse kind of blocker here, but still really solid, especially in the third to fourth round. Hell yeah. Then we have Mike Turner, a day 3 guy, 6'3", 290, 21 years old. Physicals, still great. Skills, also pretty damn good for a day 3 pick with pass block finesse and pass block power at A. So again, most likely he's a pass block kind of guy, as we see with a run block finesse and run block power being C. We have Ethan Dugan in the second to third round, 6'3", 315 pounds, 21 years old, so good age. Pretty good physicals as well. Jumping doesn't really matter. Skills, A, run block power, A, injury, B, awareness, C, lead block, a little bit low, but if you keep him at center, you don't really need a lead blocker, and you honestly don't really need much of the lead blocking at the tackle spots. That's really a guard rating, especially for the pulling. And then I always seem to be drafting tight ends. I didn't last year. There was a guy I wanted to, but he went earlier than when I was willing to pick, considering all of the positions we needed to work at. So more day 3 tight ends here. First up, Malachi Pinkins. I mean, fantastic name. 6'5", 264 pounds, 23 years old. A little bit on the older side. But day 3, he's super fast, has agility, has strength, change of direction. His skills, A, medium route running, B, catch in traffic, and B, impact block. Has D, run block power, but no tight end is going to have very high ratings at the finesse and the power. We also have another day 3, Jadarius Bollocks here, 6'5", 269, a big heavy guy, 22 years old. However, dude is fast, great to elite speed. He doesn't have the acceleration, but it takes a lot to get all that weight going. But he has good agility, good change of direction, and good strength. And look at the skills here with B, deep route running, and A, run block. That's right down the Vikings' alley. That's like the ideal tight end. F, injury, which is probably why he's a day 3 guy, just couldn't stay healthy in college. But if he's a second, maybe even third tight end, I mean, fantastic. And even better than that last one, we have Zach Betch. That name's going to get me in trouble. But 6'5", 267 pounds, 23, so again, a bit older, but has pretty good speed. He's very strong, really good acceleration. And the skills here, A, catch in traffic, A, injury, B, catching, B, run block finesse. I mean, again, right down the Vikings alley. All these tight ends we could draft, and if we didn't have Flanagan, I think we would still be set at tight end. And unfortunately, we also need to be looking at receiver. Not sure if Adam Thielen's going to retire after this season. He might have maybe another season left, but again, want to be ahead of that curve. We have Michael Mitchell, who's the highest projected guy that we have on our list. He's a 1-2 rounder. He's 6'2", 208, 21 years old, out of Washington State. He's not, a burner or has super high ratings anywhere in the physicals, but it's all just balanced. He has some speed, has some acceleration, has some strength. When it comes to the skills, A, short route running, which is why I put him on the board. Also has B, deep route running. So most likely he's a route runner kind of guy, which is again the archetype that I look at for receivers. So he could very well fit that. We don't know the other catching ratings. After him, we have Nick James. He's 6 foot, 198, 22 pounds out of Georgia. From the physical standpoint, he's fast, he's strong. I mean, all's pretty good. He can't jump very high for some reason, but B awareness, solid. A carrying, A catching. Fantastic ratings. C route running, not good, and F release, really not that good. But if he plays in the slot, you're really never going to be pressed that much. In the second to third round, there's Darrell Meeks, 6 foot, 200 pounds, 22 years old. A short route running, A spin move, B carrying, B kick return, D spec catch. So don't think he's going to be an outside receiver. Would probably be, again, a slot guy. Then we have Amari Jones, who I think is a combination of different guys from the NFL just because of the name. But 6'3", 198, 22 years old, out of Tulane. Again, he has that blend of some speed and some power as well. Really good acceleration there. B, run blocking, which was very intriguing, especially if he's playing the slot. Could help get some blocking in the spread formations. Now we're going to start getting into some of these day 3 kind of guys. So Chester Burke, 5'10", 194, 21 years old. South Carolina is where he's coming from. Again, fast, has some strength to him. When we look at some of the ratings, B, route running, B, spin move, and A, carrying. And the last receiver is going to be Sherrard Dyson, 6'1", 191, 21 years old. Physical standpoint, again, very fast, very quick, has some strength to him. Skills, B, deep route running, B, spin move, F, release. So very similar to that second receiver we talked about. He's most likely going to be a slot guy. And with that deep route running being B, could be very similar to how Osborne plays for us. Also have a couple or a few running backs here just because I would like to find a young power running back instead of signing older guys. First one, Nicholas Davenport, 5'11", 230 pounds, 21 years old. From a physical standpoint, he's not very fast, doesn't have a lot of acceleration, but he has some strength to him. He has A, carrying, A, injury, F, catching traffic, that's fine, and D, short route running. We're not going to be passing to a hefty guy that we're just wanting to run over. A couple guys get a few yards. We have Kendrick House, day 3 guy, 6'1", 228, 21 years old, out of Boise State. Again, very similar physicals from the first running back. Doesn't have a lot of speed or acceleration, but can bring some power. For him, we know B, break tackle, B, ball carrying vision. He does have A, pass block, which is very interesting. And now for the lowest projected overall guy, an undrafted 5'10", 221 pound, 22-year-old running back after Eastern Michigan. With him, again, not very fast, doesn't have that acceleration or agility, but has power and can run over people. With him, A, ball carrying vision, which is why he's on the list. And I put a quarterback on here just in case we wanted to consider trading Munn for whatever reason. Trevor Moffitt. He's 6'4", 221 pounds, 21 years old, out of Texas. He's a second to third round projected quarterback, has some strength, has great to elite throw power. Speed isn't very high, but it never really says that it is for quarterbacks. But he has B, throw accuracy deep, and throw accuracy mid, which is intriguing to me. But yeah, that's about all of the guys that we had on the favorites. We skipped some linemen and some other third day kind of guys just because I didn't want this to go on too long, as I'm pretty sure it already has. But some really good guys that we would like some more information on. Would definitely consider Michael Mitchell here for a focus. Perhaps even Greg Binns, who I feel like had some intriguing information. We only know 42%. With that A catching, A hit power, is an interesting guy we could take a look at. However, I think we would most likely finish off after the receiver with a corner and a safety, or maybe even 2 safeties. So that is what we will choose for the focus scouting, just because those are positions that we desperately need. And now that we sim on over to week 11, it is time to choose those focus players, and I have made my final decision on who those will be. So first off, we will select that receiver, Michael Mitchell here. And then we're going to do a safety and a corner. So the safety that we ended up choosing is going to be Gabe Roll, the second to third round guy, just because he has that good variety that he might help us play a couple different positions. And then at the cornerback spot, we're going to take a further look at Thaddeus Meekins and hopefully get some more information on him, because we had some intriguing information, but would just like a bit more. Now, of course, whenever you do select those focus scouting guys, you don't always get the information for all of them. Sometimes, or most of the time, I find you just get one of them and it's completely random on who that person's going to be. But that is all we have for the scouting. So now it's time to head on into Seattle, where the Seahawks, 4-5 on the season. They're honestly very similar to us in the fact that their offense is key to them, at least in terms of the overall. They're 85 offense, 79 defense for an 82 overall. We have an 84 offense with a 79 defense for an 81 overall. So very well balanced, and I'm sure they're looking for their revenge after we beat them in last year's NFC Championship. Went on to the Super Bowl where we defeated the Jacksonville Jaguars in an embarrassing fashion. But don't worry, Jacksonville. The Kansas City Chiefs got revenge for you. But yeah, so that is what is coming up next. So let's get into it. And finally into the game today, where we are in Seattle. They'll be hosting us at this beautiful stadium. It recently got a new name. I think it's now Lumen Field. Pretty sure that's the new name. But yeah, a lot of scouting that we went over earlier. I'm probably going to have to cut some out because the total recording for just the scouting part was about an hour long. So we take a look here at Saunders' stats this season, very similar to last season. Really want to start separating the touchdowns from interceptions in a positive trend. And some other positive news there, I guess wouldn't be positive news, but some other positive trend is Darisaw. He is back for this game. He had missed previous couple games with an injury. He's honestly missed most of the season with an injury and loss of 2 on that first down run by Nwangwu. Yeah, so he's back. We'll see if he's able to play a full game. I think he's only played in maybe about half a game this season, which is not good news for sure. We're just going to scramble here with Saunders. Slide underneath number 7 there, who jumps over us. Going to be a gain of 11. Going to bring up a 3rd and 1. And on 3rd and 1, we'll bring out the Ham formation. And this is the last year that Ham is under contract, which means this will be his last year as a Minnesota Viking. And he gets a gain of 5 here on his first carry of the game. And no, I'm not bringing back Ham because I don't like him or he hasn't played well. He's played very well for us, but he's going to be 30-something. We're going to try to dump this off to Nwangwu, try to avoid a loss, maybe even got a gain of 1 or at least back to the line of scrimmage. Or actually, you can say a gain of 2. It's a good job there by both Saunders and Nwangwu to get something on that play. Yeah, not bringing back Ham just because we don't like him, but we get a good first down run there by Cordero Patterson. But he's just getting a bit up in age. Want to keep cap low where we can, and fullback is honestly a pretty good spot where you can do that. Gonna go poor pass there from Saunders, and Frank Clark for Seattle comes up a little slow on that play. Gonna miss this next play at least. Maybe we'll see if he comes back in. I really wish Madden would actually give you an update on the opposing team's injuries as well. We get a good block there from Dalton Smith, and another good run there by Patterson, another first down. And another reason that we aren't going to bring Ham back is we've already drafted his replacement, Thurston, who's played a little bit here, a little bit there. Not liking what I see here. We do get that ball out before the sack, so we will avoid the loss on first down. However, not starting off great in terms of completion percentage for Saunders, only 1 of 3 on the day. We have the receiver open, just didn't have enough on it with the hit to gain anything. Going to be a loss of a couple. Let's make a slight adjustment here. Going to have Chark run a slant route. We'll have Jefferson just kind of do whatever it is he wants to do. Let's see what breaks open here. Going to have Patterson underneath, and didn't really try to catch the ball. It was a little overthrown, but definitely could have put in a little bit more effort there. And of course, this is a rematch from last year's NFC Championship game where we did go into Seattle and got the victory. Nice tackle there by Kendricks on Chris Carson. And I believe after this game, maybe after the next, but I believe it's after this game, we will get the dev trait reveal for Graves. After the last game when he had 2 sacks, his first 2 of the season, Chris Carson does get the catch here and gives the Seahawks a first down on that reception. Going to bring up first down. They have 2 receivers to the right. They're going to go underneath. Nope. I thought they were going to go for the tight end there. Instead, they go to the outside, and that's Metcalf for a first down. Yeah, let me know in the comment section below what was one of your favorite players that we went over in the scouting special. They get a nice pass to the outside there for Everett. He's going to get about 12 yards and the first down. And with Seattle, they typically play a pretty quick pass game, which not sure if that's because the line up front isn't good, but that's just a style they like. But we're going to get in here with Danielle Hunter. Went underneath the running back Chris Carson and was able to get the sack. Going to be a loss of 5 on that first down. And that was Hunter's 9th sack of the season. We're a little bit past halfway, so don't think he's going to get to that 32.5 he had last year, but still double digits would be fantastic. We ended up missing the tackle in the backfield there with Eric Wilson, but 2 Vikings come down to make the tackle as the dirty laundry hits. That's going to be holding. That's on their left guard, Damon Lewis. We'll take that. Back them up a bit more here. Going to bring up a 2nd and 22. Making a few adjustments here. They're going to go for a run. Bring up a 3rd and 20. Apparently they gained 4 instead of 2 on that play. Just a bit off on my part, but 3rd and 18 still pretty good. Gonna make a few adjustments here as clock hits 0, so that'll end the first quarter. We'll head into the second. And again on 3rd and long, they have 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Gonna spread the D line up front. Run a bit of man coverage. They go underneath and whiff on that tackle. Luckily, Dantzler and Joyner there to get the tackle. So they'll be punting from, well, not from the 40, but the ball will be snapped from the 40. Just kidding. They're going to try a field goal here. They'll be kicking from about the 46, so about a 56-yard field goal, and that's nowhere close. Wide left. And let's see if our offense can do any better this go-around here. We don't have much of an edge up front. Darisaw does have the green under him, so we'll try to follow behind him. Get a nice cut there by Nwangu. Gets forward for maybe about a gain of 4. They're going to be nice to us. Give us a gain of 5 on 2nd and 5. Going to come out in the play action rollout here. Got a good block by O'Neal. Just not seeing much open. Going to try to go to Flanagan late, but he turned around, wasn't paying attention. That falls incomplete. So far, passing game not starting off too hot. I mean, really anything on offense hasn't been too hot. Going to go underneath here to Jefferson, who drops the pass after the safety came down to give him a little nudge. They're going to try to at least pin him deep, get something positive here. Looks like that might have been kicked a little too far. Yep, going to fall into the end zone. This will be a touchback. So far, a very slow game. Neither side really showing they have the edge here. They're going to go underneath again to their tight ends. They definitely like utilizing their tight ends in this playbook. And obviously, we do too. Flanagan is typically one of our number 1 receiving threats out there, just because things like that happen with Jefferson sometimes where he just drops the pass. Go underneath there. Metcalf for a gain of a lot. A good chunk down to the 43. Coverage is playing a little off today, so we're going to bring the press here and then also the blitz and just got the blocks up front. They're going to be a good first down run there for Chris Carson. So far, I would give the edge in the running game to Seattle. Not that it's been fantastic, but it's gotten the job done a lot more than we have as Chris Carson down the sideline. Miss another tackle. Pierce runs out of stamina. Chris Carson is in for the first touchdown of the game, a 47-yard touchdown where he just powered through some guys. Well, offense, you know what you need to do. Seattle found a way, and that way was a 47-yard run into the end zone. So we need to try to come out here and put together our own good drive, at least tie this game up before half. Patterson does a good job there on that first down carry. Gets us 9 yards. Going to bring up a 2nd and short. And they left Flanagan open, but It looks like Brooks was able to flip the hips real quick and get back over there and swat that ball away before the pass got there. I think we've only completed one pass so far today, and that's going to depend on the spot here. It was close to the first down, and they're going to give us a 4th and inches. That's definitely a home field advantage right there. But we're going to play a little risky. We have the advantage over on the left-hand side in terms of numbers, so that's where we're going to go. Ham's going to get the job done. Gets about 3, but all we need was a few inches. And I honestly don't feel like they've blitzed too much. We're going to check out of that screen pass here because there are no linebackers in the middle. See if we can get the advantage. Try to get upfield as quickly as we can. Cordell Patterson a little bit slower than he used to be, but still gets a first down run on that play. Now let's see if we can maybe hit him over the top here. They do have Jamal Adams in the back, but we'll see if we can take advantage of that. They have him slide over. He goes deep. We're going to go underneath here. Jefferson with the reception, holds on to it, gets about 12 yards in the first down. Really wanted to go deep there to Chark, but Jamal Adams took a good angle. I wasn't going to risk it. We knew we had the underneath. Cordell Patterson almost breaks that tackle, but he does go down after a gain of 3. We're going to try to see if we could hit that play again. There's a couple options that pop open if you have the time. Try to get that underneath, and Brooks again with a good pass breakup. 3rd and 7. We're going to have Patterson and Rhodes come out here. Dual running back set. There is no one over to the right-hand side. Saunders is going to try to sprint away from the linebacker, gets the first down, and not a whole lot more. Not taking any timeouts left, or timeouts yet. Going to try to see if we can find something. Didn't find much there. Going to take our first timeout with about 40 seconds left in the second quarter. And Saunders is feeling it right now. He's taking a few hits this first half. We're going to come out here with a draw play. Try to see what we could get off of one tackle, but not much else after that. Try to run the hurry up here. Love to find Osborne in the seam. They do a nice job covering him. We go to the outside. We hit Cordero, but he doesn't get that second foot in. It's going to bring up 4th and 7 from the 22, and we just need to get the points right now. We have a full second half. Won't push our luck. We'll get the points and hopefully avoid any awful play in the last 15 seconds of this first half. Seattle takes the field, or their offense takes the field. They're up 7-3, 15 seconds left. And they're going to go down the middle, and Dantzler had no idea that Chris Carson had the ball. Flag does hit the turf, though. And that'll back him up even more. Ray McLeod, the slot receiver, with the hold. However, it'll only be a loss of 1 as he was way down the field when he held. Not sure it mattered too much on that play there, but we'll still take the penalty. Make a slight adjustment here. Oh, Graves had a great block shed. Not able to get the tackle, but we get him down. And looks like this clock gonna go into halftime now. Like I said, we're down 7-3, Seattle up. Gonna need the offense to turn it up in the second half for sure. They're coming out very flat. Defense playing well. We just need to see that turnover we don't need to see any turnovers for the offense. We just need to see them play better. Only 7 passing yards the entire first half. I mean, that's awful. But we'll take a look around the league, see what else is happening. Up north, we got the Raiders and the Bears. The Raiders killed the Bears 42-14. Not even close. And neither one of these teams have a very good record, but Raiders definitely the better opponent there. All the way east, we have a weird angle that kind of cuts it off, but the Patriots beat the Eagles 35-13. Eagles, again, not having a very good year. Patriots could be looking at a wild card berth, depending on the rest of their division. And all the way on the other side of the United States here, we have a tied game in the Rams 49ers 7-7 with about 25 seconds left in the first half. And our defense has been the strength for us this game, and we're going to need that to continue as Seattle will receive the opening second half kickoff here. Looks like this is just going to be a touchback. They'll start at the 25. And for Seattle, it's mainly been the running game that's really helped them out the most. Tight ends have also done a pretty good job in the receiving game. We read it pretty well there. Don't quite get the tackle we were looking there for Kendricks. He ended up cutting out the lineman that was blocking one of the corners, I believe. They come out empty, and we're going to get Hunter off the edge, who just gets there a second late. Wilson able to get it out. Oh, ball maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage, but still an incomplete pass, and on 3rd and 6. We'll bring the heat again, try to pressure Wilson. Basically the same play. This time we get him, though. Going to be a loss of about 7 on that sack. His 10th of the season, now in the double digits, and they'll bring out the punt team. Haven't watched a punt return today, at least not that I can remember. So let's see if Nwangwu can do anything. Set us up with some good starting field position. See what we could do here. We got some decent blocking to the right. Not able to get far enough out, but hey, starting from the 46, that's pretty good. And as Nwangwu just had that punt return, we'll bring Freeman out here to start the second half. Going to go right down the middle. Use a little bit of his power. Try to power through some of these guys, which he does pretty well there. Gain of 7 on his first carry. And they're stacking that left-hand side. Switch it over to a play action here. See if we could get anything. And again, we had the receiver open, but as soon as Saunders goes to throw it, they turn their back on him, go upfield, and ends up falling incomplete. We get a decent block there by Cleveland, but not good enough, and that's going to bring up a 4th and 3. And on 3rd and 3, we're going to flip this. We're going to go with the jet sweep. Since Nwangwu is a starting running back, he's not on the outside this time. Instead, it's undrafted rookie receiver Ty Spence who gets the handoff. He has some speed. Going to get enough for the first down there. His first real NFL play goes for a 10-yard first down. Sometimes you just need to go for it. That felt like a situation that we needed to go for it. I'm going to come out here with some more play action. I'm going to have Flanagan open, and Jamal Adams able to make up time. 3 for 13 on the day for Saunders. Not a good game so far. He has 10 yards. We have done nothing in the passing game today, all rushing, and even then, hasn't been anything too spectacular. In Nwangwu, 3 rushes for 9 yards. Patterson's definitely been our best running back today. And we're still missing Dalvin Cook. He'll probably be back after the Packers game as we get a nice first down run here by Cordero on the draw play. Going to run a bit of a hurry up as well. I don't like the defense that they changed into. Let's switch it over here. Go for a bit of a play action. And Jefferson stopped running his route. I needed him to keep coming over, as he was the only one who would have been on this side, and we end up getting sacked, loss of 8. Right now, we kind of just seem to be grasping at straws on offense, trying to find something that'll work. The defense for Seattle, not great, as we do get a good run there by Nwangwu. He cut up the field and just powered through a couple guys. Yeah, we're just trying to find something that works here for us on offense. It doesn't need to be anything crazy. We just need simple. And we have B open. Threw it upfield a bit. That's going to be Thielen, and he will be into the end zone. I'm pretty sure he has the most receiving touchdowns of any of our receivers, 8 on the season, reaching one of his milestones. Both defenses here today playing much better than their overall rating shows. Both of them, I think, are about a 79, and the offenses are about an 84, 85, and it's been a defensive game today. Vikings able to take their first lead on their previous drive, only up 3 points, 10-7, about a minute and a half left in the third quarter. And it looks like Russ was going to scramble, but then decided, nah, I'll chuck it deep. And that, to me, should probably be intentional grounding. I mean, no receiver over there. I'm assuming he was past the line of scrimmage, but I feel like we need to get away from that, allowing quarterbacks to just throw the ball out. As they go for a quick pass there, Joyner just a little bit late, and Eric Kendricks gets up a bit slow. And he takes a knee as well. He tried to stand up, but he needed to sit back down, I guess. Not a good sign. What was even worse than just seeing him leave the field injured, he actually goes into the locker room. He was holding that left forearm, left wrist, something on that left arm, but you never know. It could be a left ankle injury. just because Madden's a little bit all over with some of those animations. But a good first down run there by the Seahawks gets a first down. Yeah, and see, there's the update for Kendrick's broken ribs, so he's going to be out for a few weeks, which means rookie Alex Brooks, it's his time to shine. And we're going to need him to play well, as we really can't afford to see the defense drop, as they've really been the saving grace of this year. They're going to check it down underneath Everett, and there's the first tackle for Alex Brooks. He's wearing 31. In the preseason, I believe he was wearing number 47. We updated the linebackers' numbers to ones that I like a bit more. I don't like linebackers in the 40s. Joyner comes down to get the tackle, but again, just a step too late. Chris Carson with another first down run. They have 3 tight ends set to the right. We're going to bring a bit of a blitz here, but don't have enough time. We're going to head into the fourth quarter, only up 3 with the Seahawks driving. To start the fourth quarter, Seattle comes out in an empty set. Make a couple adjustments up front. And we're going to use Smith here. We want to make sure we cover Everett, as he's been one of their main threats. As they go to the outside, I don't think he had his feet in. They say no, Lockett was out before he got that catch. Would love to see some interior pass rush today too, but not seeing much. That would definitely help out with Seattle's quick pass game here. Like, we almost get there with Hunter once again, but the ball is out to Everett, but there is a timeout. However, neither side called the timeout, and we see that it looks like Eason, the former Georgia quarterback, that's Chris Carson fighting for the first down. That's going to depend on the spot. And we get the lucky spot there, 4th and inches at the 26. And they'll call out the field goal team here to tie the game. But yeah, I believe that is a former quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. In at quarterback, Russ seemed to be shaken up on that Hunter hit on the second down play. They do get the field goal right down the middle, no wide left or wide right this time. The game is now tied up once again, 10-10. And Saunders is looking pretty shaken up today. It's very slow jogging out onto the field. We'll probably need to rely more on the run game than the pass game. Turn up here. Got some decent blocks by the tight end and get a gain of about 3 on that first down run. Going to switch to the 4 receiver set and do a draw play here to Cordero. He's been the best running back for us today. Chris Carson's definitely the number 1 back just overall. Yeah, we're going to kind of switch it to a running back to committee right now. Kind of switch it around, try to keep everyone good with some breath underneath him. Try to run down the middle there by Freeman. He thought he saw some space on the outside. Tried to cut out, but just didn't find much space. So we'll try to hit that again. Just not very good blocking in the middle. I think that was O'Neal that got beat, and it looks like got beat for a reason. He's now down, and he's our best lineman, so not good news there. In his stead, Clayton will come back in. He started most of the season over at left tackle. We'll now switch over to right tackle. And we did not see O'Neal go to the locker room. They're going to go for Thielen, but once again, just a little overthrown. And it is an elbow sprain for O'Neal. So not sure exactly how long that could really take into effect. We'll put him back in, but I am a little bit wary of that being another injury that we'll see again pop up. But right now we're going to need to punt the ball here. Punt it down to the 10. Big hit there from Young. I think that's our 4th corner, but no fumble there. But they are down to the 12, so good field position for us. And once again, we're going to need to see some big plays here from the defense. With a backup quarterback in, we're hoping to force a turnover or something, force a mistake, and try to get the ball back as quickly as we can. Trying to cover a couple guys here. Graves in with a sack, and that's a safety. He was standing on the goal line. Graves with his 3rd sack of the season ends up putting 2 points on the board, and we're going to go up 12-10 and get the ball back. And that was precisely what we were looking for there. Defense to make a play, force a mistake by a quarterback who really doesn't have much experience. We get the safety with one of our young guys. Graves steps up big, and Nwangwu sets us up to start our hopefully last drive. We're going to try to drain this clock as much as we can at the 30-yard line. That wasn't necessarily what I was imagining when I was saying we are going to need to force a mistake. I was thinking bad pass, interception, maybe fumble on a sack. But no, we get a safety on the very first play. Great play by Graves. I was just saying that previous drive, we need some interior rush, and it hits home at the right time. We're going to run a little bit here with some of our power backs. Try to see if Freeman and Ham can kind of just run over some guys, drain this clock. I'm perfectly fine winning by 2 points, a 12-10 game, very irregular score. But if it's a victory, it's a victory. So we're just going to try to run this clock out, get Seattle to start calling their timeouts, try to stay ahead of the chains as well as we can. Good run here. I think about a gain of 7. And there we go. 2-minute warning. So now we're going to start seeing Seattle spin some of those timeouts. And we're at a good spot to get a first down. 2nd and 3. They go to scrunch their line, so we'll make an adjustment. We have the speedster and Wongwu out there. We don't get the block. I was really hoping Ham would continue on the outside. I think it's going to be a 3rd and short. They do mark in our favor again. They do give us the first down. Seattle's already spent their first timeout. So now it's time to just drain this clock and head home with a victory. Ham running through a couple guys there. Gets about another gain of 6 or 7 and another timeout. 2nd and 4 at the 43. Under 2 minutes. Seattle has one more timeout. We get the first down, and that will be game. All we need to do is kneel out the rest of this clock, and we will head home victorious with a sack safety by our rookie defensive tackle, Graves. And as this clock hits 0, right there we are victorious, beating the Seattle Seahawks. Very close game. Our defense ended up winning the game for us 12-10. Graves came up big with that sack. And as you see, there are only 17 passing yards on the day. It was all running for us. Really poor game for the passing offense, but hey, Graves came up big for us, helped us get that victory. Nice, solid performance for him, and I think that'll earn him thumbnail privileges for this game. And after that victory, 2 upgrades here, Daniil Hunter and Michael Lucas. And I feel like his finesse moves are basically all the way up. So let's start working a bit on those power moves. Just make him just even more of a monster. I mean, why not? And with that upgrade, we'll get the +2 to the power moves. And then for the tight end, Michael Lucas, drafted him to be a run blocker for us, has done well there. But we always upgrade the progression, or possessive upgrade, because it gets the run blocking as well as the catching. So gets the +1 run block, +1 catching, and also the +2 short route running. So really seen some good upgrades for him. You can see here, I mean, very well-balanced guy when it comes to being that possession kind of guy. Obviously a bit slow, but that's honestly why we're looking at a couple of the other tight ends in case we need someone to come in if Flanagan happens to ever get injured. We want someone with a little bit more speed, but Michael Lucas has been a great run blocker for us and honestly has played decently well in reception, the receiving game as well in the preseason, this last preseason. Now, unfortunately, we did have the injury to Eric Kendricks, so he's going to miss the next 3 games since we haven't simmed yet. So he will miss at least 2 NFC North matchups against the Packers and the Lions. I haven't seen what game is after the Lions yet, but that could be big. And as we sim on over to Week 12, you see here it is rivalry week. Minnesota, Green Bay, a historic rivalry in the NFL. 2 teams that really just hate each other. And it's honestly a battle of the opposites where we have the 84 offense, they have the 84 defense. They have an 80 offense, we have a 79 defense. So looks like it could be a fairly well-balanced game. Hopefully our defense continues to play strong for us. They've definitely been the best side on the field this entire year. We've played a lot of close games, and those close games probably would have been losses without the defense playing well. They had one bad game against Kansas City, but I think in 10 weeks, we could give them one bad game. They deserve a little bit of credit there. But yeah, so we're going to be missing Eric Kendricks and Dalvin Cook for this rivalry game. Cook should be back, I believe, after this game for the Lions game. But Kendricks will miss this game, the Lions and the Bengals game. We'll be back for the second Lions game and second Packers game later this year. But yeah, to make sure you guys are sticking around for this rivalry matchup, make sure you're hitting that subscription button down below and that bell notification as well to be notified when I post these. Or you can follow me on Twitter, BigBearB_gaming. I always tweet out when these are up, so you can check it out. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Got the scouting special and got another victory thanks to Graves. Oh, and speaking of Graves, let's check something out. And we do learn Graves' development, just a star, hopefully with a good season that could go up. We're going to need to see some more sacks from him. He was the #1 defensive tackle, so I was really hoping for a superstar, maybe even superstar X Factor. But here's where his ratings are at. I mean, looking pretty solid for a rookie there. Would like to see some more sacks pile up for him and tackles for loss. But yeah, that's where he's at. And still, honestly, really good. I mean, you can see this defense, a lot of stars. We have another guy we need to eventually find out what what his X Factor, or not X Factor, I would hope he's X Factor, but what his hidden dev is. With Kendrick's missing time, that's going to give Alex Brooks a lot of play time. He will be coming in to play for Kendricks for us. So hopefully good things to come, but again, you're going to need to make sure you're sticking around. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.